As the city of Moab investigates the actions of its officers, handling of the Petito case in that city, domestic violence advocates and the former police chief say the officers did everything right under Utah's law. ABC4's Jason Wynn joining us now live in studio. And Jason, why are signs of domestic violence hard to see?
Well, Glenn, domestic violence advocates tell me intimate partner violence can be difficult to recognize consistently because there are a lot of risk factors that deal with controlling a partner.
Nina Angelo was at a restaurant in Jackson Hole, Wyoming on August 27th. She tells us about running into Brian Laundrie and Gabby Petito.
His demeanor, the way he was acting, how persistent he was, he freaked me out. She was emotional. She was crying. She seemed kind of embarrassed. You could feel his temper.
What Angelo is saying is something allies with families Jen Oxborough picked up on while the couple was in Moab through police body camera footage on August 12th.
That's one of the first things that I noticed in the body cam footage was the normalizing and the minimizing. It's very scary.
Oxborough says these are not so obvious risk factors because of fear.
I've worked with people who've perpetrated domestic violence and it never happens out of the blue. There are lots of risk factors, lots of history of aggression ramping up. And van life can be stressful.
Oxborough says there are 4 signs of intimate partner domestic violence. First is isolation.
I think trying to keep up with that identity and the influencer, the perfect life and adventure that was being cultivated there can really be isolating.
Second is manipulation.
That isolation is something that an abusive partner really tries to use as a manipulation tactic. So that could be very frustrating to an abusive partner that they can't fully isolate you because you have this following.
Third is stress.
Stress seemed to be escalating for them, and it looks like it's an adventure, it looks like it's a vacation, it's supposed to be downtime, but they were trying to solve a lot of problems and were in a lot of stressful situations.
Last is the lack of contact with family or friends, and what Petito went through is something many Utah families are experiencing at their homes right now.
We see this at Allies in about 60% of the families that we're working with.
Now, experts say the most important thing that people need to remember is do not get in the middle of a domestic violence situation that will compromise your safety. Advocates say bystanders who called in the abuses that they saw did the right thing. Glenn?
All right, thanks so much, Jason. And we do want to remind you help is available if you or someone you know is experiencing any type of abuse. We do have the number for a domestic violence hotline that you can call. It's right there on the screen. But if it's an emergency, do not hesitate. Call 911.